Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Warren Brothers Sports Show here on the Warren Brothers Broadcasting Network, here on the YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate you if you are out there watching, listening. Importantly, more so that you're listening. There's not much to see here. It's just me. And a plush doll representing my brother, since he is out and about. The Globe Trekker Paul Mr. Cleveland Warren, the co-host of this program, can't be bothered to show up ever.
Where's he at today?
Milwaukee, I guess. I think that's associate producer Dad watching over things from the other room. In your sports news topics today, Kent State victorious over Concord to improve to 5-0. They have a true battle coming up on Monday night, and they will be playing the 10th seeded in the nation, Ohio State Buckeyes. And speaking of the Ohio State Buckeyes, they've got a big football game coming up Saturday at noon, facing the Penn State Nittany Lions. More football for you. The Cleveland Browns have an NFL game on Sunday, in which they'll be playing the Miami Dolphins, who have shown improvement over the last 3 weeks. It's even garnered them a couple of wins. Both teams are real hot right now. The hot 4-6 Cleveland Browns and the blazing 2-8 Miami Dolphins. Let's see here, and in other sports things, the Blue Jackets now have a winning record. That's your hockey. They're now 9-8-4 after a win last night against the Red Wings, and the Cleveland Cavaliers play tonight. I don't really have much of a preview for them and the Dallas Mavericks in Dallas. These two teams have already faced each other once this year. So, it didn't go well for the Cleveland Cavaliers, but it is what it is. Don't expect a whole lot out of that team this year. But I'm going to start off with college basketball, and that being my current favorite college basketball team, the Kent State Golden Flashes. And they defeated the University of Concord handedly last night, 89-59. Oh, it wasn't even close. Hey there out in the audience, if you want to join in the live chat, you can do that. Or you can even call the program here at 216-487-1507. Humor me. Humor yourselves. Humor no one at all. The big reason why I'm psyched for Kent State's big 30-point victory, and they were up 50-32 at halftime, is it meant that my current favorite basketball player, Kalen Bennett, played 9 minutes. He got to see quite a lot of action last night, playing probably the last 9 minutes of the game. I didn't get the chance to read an article about it, just the box score. And in that 9 minutes, he got a rebound and put up 2 points. The kid's getting out on the court, young freshman, autistic man from Little Rock, Arkansas. He got to see his 3rd out of 5 games this year. This is the most playing time he's gotten. The offense doesn't really run through him, that's for sure. But he got a rebound, might have even been a putback, I'm not sure. Again, they're not really playing Kent State basketball games up here in Cleveland. But I'm psyched for the young man. And this is one of two things are most likely going to happen on Monday night when the Kent State Golden Flashes head on over to Columbus to play the 10th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. The one thing will mean Kalen Bennett gets to play quite a bit, and that's if Ohio State's just routing Kent State by like 20 points or something in the second half. The other thing that may happen, at least just mild speculation, which I feel as though I'm allowed to do, and in talking about a preview of the Kent State-Ohio State basketball game on Monday night, is that Kalen Bennett will not play at all because it'll be a close game, and Kent State, probably loses by 6 or something, but the young man, since he is a freshman, will not really get to see time. 15 different players played for Kent State the other night. That's a nice thing about when you build a big old lead in a basketball game. Everybody gets to play. I think 15 is their entire roster. So that was cool stuff. Good to see that Kalen Bennett got on the court. 9 minutes. That's nothing to sneeze at. We might head back to that. I don't know. See how I'm feeling. Because I feel like there's more to talk about there with Kent State, especially facing Ohio State on Monday. But I also have my eyes set on college football, or I could just wrap around and head back to the professional basketball games. There's numerous segues. I so intelligently wrote to this morning that there's a bunch of different routes I can go, and I can change it up at any time I feel like it. So I'm going to talk about football. Yeah, that's right, the NFL. See, threw you a curveball, which is baseball, and I really have nothing on that. Free agency started. There's been a couple signings. Yasmani Grandal, excellent catcher, has gone and he signed this big deal contract with the Chicago White Sox, and it automatically means that the Indians are not going to make the playoffs or choke in the playoffs if they make it. And there's idiots on Twitter. It's not even worth, because they're not even real people. I don't think they're just trolls. They live under bridges. Fired. Hashtag fire Tito. It's all dumb. All because the White Sox signed a guy. It's the same thing as really, the way it's reported is we live in this state of existence that we're in, where all you have to do is sign a guy, and now you're gonna win 10 or 20 more games. It's just gonna happen, except football is 5. They signed Odell Beckham Jr. We're going to the Super Bowl. Oh, the White Sox signed Yasmani Grandal, a very good hitting catcher. So now they're just going to win the whole thing. White Sox need a whole lot more than what. The catcher wasn't even a position where they were hurting. They had one of the best hitting catchers in the major leagues. McCann, one of the amazing McCann brothers. That's the funny thing, is that you have the Flying Molina brothers and then the McCann cousins, whatever the hell they are, a bunch of hicks from Pennsylvania probably. And I mean, it's those two last names make up like 20% of the catchers in Major League Baseball. They're all just related. The reason why I wanted to talk football before I got into Browns-Dolphins stuff, because that's the game I'm previewing. And I just want to finally put to rest this Myles Garrett thing for this week, because we know this is going to be a very long, drawn-out story. It's nowhere near over. It's literally going to be Myles Garrett and impeachment hearing stuff for like the next, I don't know. It's going to be longer than any regular, normal, current news cycles. It's not going to be your week and done. It'll come back when you don't expect it, like the Epstein didn't kill himself stuff, because he didn't kill himself. That's why we have to have impeachment hearings, and guys hit other guys on the head with football helmets. But the thing about it that I wanted to read, and this is from the New York Post, but I've seen it in other sources, so I know it's not like stupid made-up New York Post crap. The exact quote from Myles Garrett himself, as in reference to, people basically saying that he's slandering and besmirching the good name of Maya Rudolph, that clown, the prep school hick or whatever it was. Yeah, some of the things I read. Here is the actual Myles Garrett statement. I was assured that the hearing was space that afforded the opportunity to speak openly and honestly about the incident that led to my suspension. That was not meant for public dissemination, nor was it a convenient attempt to justify my actions or restore my image in the eyes of those I disappointed. I know what I heard. Whether my opponent's comment was born out of frustration or ignorance, I cannot say. But his actions do not excuse my lack of restraint in the moment, and I truly regret the impact this has had on the league, the Browns, and our devoted fans. Myles Garrett's a good guy. I bet you he wrote that himself. He's an intelligent young man. If he thought he heard the N-word or another racial slur, because there's more than just the one. Well, there's plenty. Watch a cartoon from the 1940s. Get an education. Just learn something. Talk to your friends. Talk to your friends' grandparents or parents. Just have conversations with people. Be candid. Find stuff out. Don't just live in your stupid little bubble. And then when something happens, be so closed-minded about it that you only don't know of it because you've never fathomed that something like it could occur. Oh, there's no way he'd call another black dude a racial slur. His coach is a black guy, and so are his teammates. That doesn't mean anything. His coach's teammates are doing the same things when they were players and are players currently. You know, Mike Tomlin was getting right up in everybody's face. Does it now. Does it to refs. That's what he does. I mean, there's a lot of stuff when it comes to sport, and it corroborates with everything else in life, is that whether it's the little letter next to your favorite politicians' names or the uniform that your favorite players wear, any number of other things, you'll defend them even when they're wrong. I'm not defending Myles Garrett, but I read a statement like that and I see everything that's gone on with the Myles Garrett stuff. And I mean, I'm never going to convince you any differently because I am wholeheartedly a Browns fan. I mean, I'm wearing a t-shirt that says Ohio on it. Whose side do you think I'm going to take in the matter? Myles Garrett could have actually killed the dude, and I'd still be like, oh, well. He did keep charging at him. That to make a claim, though, that guy's life was in danger, and to say that Myles Garrett's throwing out the race card, he never thought that stuff was going to go public. Of course, like the one thing that winds up going public is the main thing that never public, because it's the thing that they know will rile everybody. Of course, they uphold a suspension that they can't by justifiable legal means. I mean, the paperwork, when you have actual rules in place, you can't just go and continue to make up your own rules as time goes on. People act like something like this never happened before, when it's well documented several times over that a guy has swung a helmet or made contact with his helmet with another guy. What happens, Dwayne Rudd removed his helmet at the end of the Browns opener against the Chiefs back in, what was that, 2002, and just flung it down the field. There's stuff on the books for that. It's a penalty, and that's that. You have to run another play since it happened on the last play of the game. Officially, 000s, quadruple zeros, 6 zeros, however many zeros there are. I mean, it's not like they aren't prepared for this stuff. So there's rules in the books about Myles Garrett's punishment and what it should be, and it's an overreaction now, a heinous thing, and they're painting this young man as being something that he is not. Read his words. Let's see. Was there actual video of it? I don't recall. Because I mean, I had a different opinion of Mason Rudolph when I first read his words. Well, then I saw the actual, giving of the statement. He looked like he didn't even want to be there on Wednesday afternoon on his forced apology. Like, I guess, Steelers a great organization. He comes across as a smarmy, cocky dick. But again, Ohio t-shirt, so I obviously can't be objective, and I'm obviously partisan in this thing. How can't have my opinion. Any other situation, I'd be just a homer or whatever. But don't have this outcry and vilify one of the guys who's actually relatively close to being a good guy at this point. I mean, we hold up the villains to be great people. I mean, that's what we're doing, and so we have to vilify some of the decent people. I mean, he's no saint. It's Myles Garrett. He's a man. He's a young man. He's got a lot to learn in life. There's just facts. It's the truth of the matter. But we're gonna go and vilify him for what? I mean, if matters of moments were what made up our entire life stories and were the opinions of who we were, none of us would have a leg to stand on. But with that being said, I'm going to give you a traffic and weather update here from the Warren Brothers Traffic and Weather Center. In traffic, I'm not going outside today, so I don't even give a crap what traffic's like. I'm just telling you honestly. I'm not messing with that. And then weather-wise, it is partly cloudy, 39 degrees. That's your high for today. It's all downhill from here. In the news, here at the Old Brooklyn News Desk, there will be plenty of famous alumni at the Ohio State-Penn State game on Saturday. That's tomorrow afternoon. One person who won't be there is the ghost of Joe Paterno. He's still out hunting for Jerry Sandusky and Bill Cosby. I don't know. I think that's one Paul wrote. Anyway, commercial-wise, real quick, go on over to patreon.com if you'd like. It would help me out a great deal. You go over to patreon.com. You type in Warren Brothers Broadcasting Network. You get more quality programming like this show right here, the Warren Brothers Sports Show, without Paul Warren. So it's like just one Warren brother. The Calm in the Storm, whenever we're going to do that next episode. Anton, text me. I answered your text last night. I don't know what happened. He's asked me what makes the Myles Garrett thing racist. I don't know if I said anything directly to him implying such a thing, but I certainly have implied it. The NFL is racist. So also be sure to check out our Sunday Super Show Sausage Fest Spectacular show. That'll be episode number 5 going live this Sunday. Should be better than episode 4. That thing was just garbage. And then Apathetic Afternoons show I'm working on, and other things that I'm working on. Craptastic shorts, maybe a cooking show, stand-up comedy stuff, and of course, Man versus Booze. I got to get that show going. $5 per month. Patreon.com. Warren Brothers Broadcasting Network. You can follow my Patreon-only blog. I blog in there of trying daily. I haven't been doing daily. And then if you contribute with your $4 or $5 a month, that makes you a producer. So you can tell me what you want from our programming. You want more of this, we'll give you more of this. You want less of this, you get less. Whatever you want, you're a producer. You're paying me, so you tell me what you want. Help a brother out. Because I am one. Who knows what my brother's doing? He's going to call in at some point, supposedly, and then we'll know what he's doing. Just $4 or $5 a month. That's what it says the subscription is on the page. You spend more daily on stupid crap. And just think, that's a $4 a month subscription. Daily, you're buying like, I don't know, 3 for $4 at some fast food joint, and all you feel is depression afterwards. At least with this, I mean, we give you high quality bitterness and sarcasm. So if you feel depression after this, that's on you. Just screw yourself. Patreon.com, Warren Brothers Broadcasting Network. And there you go. That's that live read. That's what we call this. Talk hockey real fast. Just waste 5 minutes of your time on that because I really have nothing to talk about. Columbus Blue Jackets, they're mired in this position. It's I don't know, like 6th place in the Metropolitan Division, and despite 3 straight wins, they're just still sitting there. The other teams were hot, some nonsense, and even after a 5-4 victory over the Red Wings last night, Red Wings just look terrible, and it's too bad for them. The Detroit Red Wings, like one of the most storied franchises in hockey history. I think they might have been one of the original 6. I don't know. This is the stuff that Paul knows. Like I do follow hockey a little bit for him, but with him not being on the show, how am I to know? He's the one. Well, and then he's the one who says he wants to talk about hockey and then he doesn't know anything. Well, and that's the kind of stuff he knows. Actually, my brother and I know everything. It's just certain things that he knows, and there's certain things that I know. You could ask any question that you want. Just don't ask us when we're together, because then we can never use that excuse. If you ask me a question, I can just say, "Oh yeah, that's just one that Paul knows." Oh my! That's one that goes back to like when you're a child. It's like one that you see in a joke book or a Bazooka Joe comic. Oh, that's some high quality H2O right there. Delicious water. And we'll get back into the actual Browns versus Dolphins game. It feels like it's been forever since the Browns have played a football game. This has been the longest week of waiting. I mean, it's bad enough when it's a Thursday, then you gotta wait. And just think, like the mild turnaround, the being 2-0 after wins against the Bills and the Steelers. I went back and rewatched some of the highlights from the Bills game because I'm a conspiracy theorist. And Myles Garrett was mic'd up for the second time of the season in that game. And magically, no one at all was mic'd up for the Browns-Steelers game. I kind of get the feeling that whomever was mic'd up was either knocked unconscious or ejected already, like a Demarius Randall or a Juju Smith-Schuster. It's not even a real name. Could you imagine if he was actually Hebrew, though? Wouldn't that be an awesome nickname? Hey, it's me, it's Juju. What do you want? I don't know why he's Spanish, though. That's terrible at impersonations and jokes. So, yeah, just the oddness that no one was mic'd up. I look back at that Bills game, and I'm like, man, that was only... What is it at this point? That calendar says August. Crap. What's today's date even? So 24th. Played the Steelers on the 14th. So it's what, like, this is technically just 2 weeks ago that we played the Bills. Is that right? And holy cow. Feels like it was 2 years ago. Long. And poor Myles Garrett's got to feel even longer. Heart goes out for the kid. Once again, he did something wrong. And he's paying the punishment for his crime. Honestly, it's a bit of a severe punishment. Not a single person mic'd up. That's amazing. Microphones everywhere. Boom mics. I mean, oh, well, this microphone picks stuff up. You hear stuff from the other room. Oh, I missed a call from Paul. How did that happen? And he actually called on time, too. Call him back. If it's even him. Maybe it's some other crazy person. You know, because Paul. Better hit the button. There you go. Come on. So you hear that? I set something down. So if you got your microphones working when you're at the foosball games, Mason Rudolph saying, call connect. What do you mean? Whoa. My goodness, that's loud. Hello, is this Paul?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed your call. Is this Paul?
Yeah, I'm here.
We've established
I
that
can't hear you that well.
you can't hear me that well.
No, I can't hear you that well.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, now I can.
Okay. Well, why did you...
Zola at the show today, or?
Is what, where?
Oh, the World Road Sports Show.
Wait, what are you talking about? I'm on air right now.
Okay, then you are. Okay, so, yeah, well, Green Bay was cool, and now I'm back in Milwaukee, and I'm about to leave the, I don't know what they call this state, the nickname, like, yeah, there's the Buckeye State for Ohio, Keystone State for Pennsylvania, Golden State for California, but, yeah, I had an interesting time last night.
What did you do last night?
It was fantastic. But my interview.
You had an interview?
Went well. Got to talk to Pat, Donna, and yeah. So the WFPP review. What was it? Interview. Yeah, the WFPP interview went fine. And one of the things that Sarah wanted to do was hang out with her friends and her family, the Formans. And the thing is, we were going to get some Chinese food. I was going to get some General Tso's chicken. However, Kelso, being a dumbass, had to break the speaker box. Because the box kept saying, and then.
Did they ever find their car?
So we wound up at the hub again.
Uh-huh.
And we got to see, Alice Cooper came in to WFPP as well. And so did some stoner guys. We're going to watch him tonight. We watched him yesterday at the, at Lambeau Field.
Alice Cooper performed what?
No, wait, they're at the arena in Green Bay. Green Bay University, I think.
Maybe the University of
And-
Wisconsin Green Bay. That's an actual school.
Yeah. So for a while, I got to hang out with them. We, Mike Lipton, knows our tunnels guy, he had to tag along.
Uh-huh.
And it was funny, we sang Bohemian Rhapsody, the operatic part. I'll see you little silhouette of a man. But Mike Lipton's kind of lame. You don't want to sing.
Uh-huh.
He says that all this music, that all this rock music is...
Well, I think we dropped the call. Looks like he's not there anymore. He can call back if he wants. That was going nowhere. No idea what that was all about. Hey, anyway. Got a pretty good feeling he'll probably call back. He's probably still talking. The hell was I talking about? He completely throws me off. Tomorrow, Cleveland Cavaliers are at home against the Portland Trail Blazers. And what I find interesting there is the poster child of my generation of over the top hype and underwhelming execution is now a Portland Trail Blazers. It's about like the 8th different team that Melo's been on. Carmelo Anthony, the greatest player in college basketball in that one year when Syracuse won the championship. Hey, there's the phone. Holy cow. That you again, Paul?
Hey, yeah, I didn't know what happened.
Yeah, it happens almost every day.
It was probably about Mark.
We hadn't gotten that far, no.
And, I haven't got to that part yet.
Well, here's
how it went.
Could you let me tell you where you were?
I was in Milwaukee.
I know what city you were in. When the phone call cut off, you guys were banging your head to Bohemian Rhapsody. So pick up from right after there. Is that where Mork showed up again?
Well, here's what happened. Let me explain the whole thing. After hanging out with Wayne and Garth, after their Bohemian Rhapsody thing, the Formans and their friends went to get the top round. The Mike Lipton just stayed outside because of his anti-rock concept.
I have a question.
Oh, I could have invited you, Mark. What?
I have a question.
What's the question?
Both Alice Cooper and Todd Rundgren were playing in Milwaukee last night.
No, Alice Cooper was in Green Bay. Todd Rundgren was in Milwaukee.
Oh, it's nice to be able to just jet set all around Wisconsin and go to rock shows.
Okay. Well, that's what happened, and the city of Green Bay is going to plan on having the 50th anniversary of Antstock in 8 years from now. It's going to be an interesting concert.
Yeah, in 8 years, I suppose.
That was yeah, we mentioned about Antstock as well.
That's fine.
The biggest reason why was a big thing because everyone thought Elvis was going to be there, but then he died.
No.
1 month later when the concert was at. And the Beatles were almost going to be reunited that time, but unfortunately, not all 4 of them turned it down. Paul McCartney was interested, but he was just a little too hesitant to. And John was not doing music, so.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, when I go over, say it. Yeah,
it's not really almost if all 4 guys say no, but fine.
Yeah. But I'm just I'm at Carol's beauty shop and hair salon. I was trying to get a haircut from her.
Well, I have no clue who the hell Carol is, so.
Carol Foster Lambert.
Oh, you're doing stuff from Step by Step now, too. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, you know
what?
You know that Green Bay San Francisco game is in San Francisco, right?
Oh, so it's in San Francisco.
Yeah, so
Okay.
if you were to go to Lambeau Field on Sunday, it would just be you by yourself. Maybe maintenance people or something.
Yeah, well, I'm just about to, after this haircut, I'm about to get this, probably leave Milwaukee anyhow. Great place, but I still like that conversation at Moorcat with Orson, calling out thing, coming off in. But I thought it was going to be Orson Bean or that player on the Cleveland Browns, and I said, or like that Garfield character, Orson T. Pig. But unfortunately, with Orson Welles, he was contacting Orson Welles. They're talking about peas a lot. It's so I love peas. And that whole scenario is what, and he ended it with Rosebud. So it was interesting when it was at Pizza Bowl.
Yeah, it's if you say it so, yeah.
Yes. But I'm waiting. I'm at Carol's right now, and Carol. She seems interesting. She still misses California a little bit, and misses her friend Jack and Jane.
I don't think that was her name.
That Mr. Broly guy.
Yeah, Mr. Broly. Yeah, well, like they say, three's company and four's a crowd. So.
Yep.
No one says that.
Yeah, the Don Knotts guy, look-alike guy, really was the fourth man out. But Carol is now with a guy named Frank, and
I really don't care.
And actually, okay, fine.
Are you? I mean, you're gonna read off every single character on the show? Cody lives in a van. No, good. You just get your hair cut.
I can save that for another day.
Oh man!
What?
You reported on No Sports.
Frank, but,
the only thing you ever talk about is what you eat.
For some odd reason, so
going to concerts. It's a sports show.
I'm next for my haircut, so.
Well, then get your haircut.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
And if you're going to be like this, I may not come back home at all unless you want me to come back.
Well, I mean, I'd rather you be here than these inane phone conversations. I mean, I figure that you can't even hear me at this point, can you?
Well, I'll see you then. Bye.
All right, that was Paul Warren.
Marcus, still there?
Well,
okay, forget it. Bye.
Okay, well, bye then. It's Paul Warren for the Wisconsin Tourism Board. So when you plan your next trip to Wisconsin, be sure to contact Paul Warren. He'll tell you where to go in Milwaukee and Green Bay, even though, most of it's made up or something. Play a damn song. Go to a break. It's also silly. It was better than whatever stupid crap I was going to say about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Oh, it did it again. Oh, it hurts so bad. The music's swell. Well, that woke me up a little bit, that's for sure. Traffic and weather. Here at the Warren Brothers Traffic and Weather Center. Traffic is, I'm not going outside today. Screw that nonsense. I don't feel like it. I'm not messing with you people. That's your traffic. You figure it out for yourselves. Weather-wise, it is partly cloudy, 39 degrees, and that's your high for today. We're dealing with it right now. It's all downhill from here. More reason why I don't want to deal with anybody today. Screw all of you. Back over here at the Old Brooklyn News Desk. In the news, there will be plenty of famous alumni at the Ohio State-Penn State game. Maybe Paul will accidentally find his ass back in Pennsylvania. Despite all of these famous alumni there, on Saturday, there's one person who will sadly be missed, and that's Joe Paterno, old Joe Pa. And not just because he's dead, but the ghost of Joe Pa has declined an invitation to come to the Ohio State-Penn State game tomorrow at noon because he's too busy trying to hunt down Bill Cosby and Jerry Sandusky. Do this live read. It's for Dave Hughes and this guy's painting. You can contact him at 440-715-3282. That phone number again, 440-715-3282. Or message this guy's painting on the Facebook. That's correct. Play one of my favorite songs now. It'll fit the mood almost as well as the last song did. Actually, not really. This guy's painting is a small local painting company that will do interior and exterior work at reasonable prices. And they are insured. Mention that you heard it here from Mark Warren. That's me. And receive a free estimate. Expect a quality job done by this guy's painting, owned and operated by Dave Hughes. You can reach him at 440-715-3282 or on the Facebook at This Guy's Painting. Don't forget, you receive a free estimate if you mention that you heard it here on the Warren Brothers Broadcasting Network or on this program, the Warren Brothers Sports Show, or from Mark Warren, me. Say the word Warren, get a free estimate. He does good work. I think there's more pictures on Facebook. That'd be where to check him out. Type in the word Warren when you let him know you want him to look at whatever it is you want done. He'll paint it. Well, within reason, you probably won't paint your face or something. Ask for something weird. Like, yeah, I've always wanted to be a blonde. Paint my hair yellow. They'd probably just give you an estimate on that. It'd be free, the estimate anyway. They'd probably charge you some real crazy amount to make sure you don't do it. Because if you want some guy to paint your hair blonde, charge that person like $5,000, Dave. They're a psychopath. Probably do it too. Take the $5,000. What's the paint cost you? Bucket of yellow paint. Just pour it on their head, basically. Job done. Looks like a character from The Simpsons, though, too. Then the skin's all yellow. It's stupid. I don't know where I was going with that. All got weird. So what happens after I talk to Paul? He's going to be all indignant when he sends me a text message. Surprised he hasn't already. Not even halfway through this ghastly thing. I think I've spoken enough about the Myles Garrett stuff. Maybe I'll get back to Cavs basketball. I'm already looking past tonight's game against the Mavericks. Good damn team this year. 9-5 in the West. I think that's where Porzingis is. And there are a whole bunch of rumors swirling around that guy, too. Anton and I were talking about it. I think maybe he mentioned it during the Calm in the Storm episode 1. It's just dumb and it's bad. This poor dumb guy, Colin Porzingis, apparently got into some issues with ladies in New York, doing some stuff that he was being a toxic male. There's a funny thing on the Twitter. Somebody asked which is a better manly scent, because like when you think of men, you think of Brute or Old Spice, like old school, like the kind of thing a guy would put on after working all day and he's washed up. Not that he's washed up, but he gets washed up. He's shaved his face, and then he's like, "Ugh, just gonna put on some of this Brute, some Old Spice. You know, there's other ones too that I don't recall. There's a Preferred Stock. I think that's one of them. Those things that you find in your dad's or your grandfather's medicine cabinet. And it's like, man, they don't even make this stuff anymore. But so the question was, because they still make Brute and Old Spice, which is manlier. And what I do is I take those two, a couple of shots of bourbon and a quart of motor oil, and I mix it all together. And I call that toxic masculinity. Bottle it and market it. So Porzingis, that's why he's out of New York, his toxic masculinity. And he's playing in Dallas now. It was a good move for Dallas. He's going to be one of the better players in the league. Kid can ball, and they're just going to crush the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight. Is that where Vince Carter still is? Where is he playing? The ageless wonder. He makes Tom Brady look like a bum. Tom Brady's got to make other guys throw touchdown passes for him at this point when they play other good teams. You know, that was done on purpose. Philly was like, they got us with a trick play in the Super Bowl. We're going to get them with a trick play. Toss it to Edelman. Edelman will throw a touchdown. That play should not have worked. Someone should have just, the guy who charges in and smashes Edelman, just knock that ball right back in his face. Jump up, not at. Surprised they didn't get a roughing the passer. Even though, because he was the passer. It was a pitch back. A lateral. Even though lateral, it doesn't make sense because lateral is lateral. It's not behind. Not forward. It's lateral. That's how screwed up the damn sport is. It goes that far back. You don't even have the right word for the thing that it is. It's lateral. I mean, it can be, but that's equivalent to forward at this point, isn't it? The handoff is equal to a lateral pass. So you can pitch it back then. But that's not a lateral, that's a pitch back. Words, who cares? It doesn't matter. Tomorrow, the Cavaliers play Portland. Carmelo Anthony is actually getting minutes, too. I saw he had 29 minutes, 6 of 15 shooting. I only bring that up because Anton goes in pretty hard on Colin Sexton. We only have Colin Sextons in this world because we have Carmelo Anthonys. And just think how great that draft class was that Anthony was a part of. It was the LeBron one, wasn't it? I'm not remembering stuff anymore. I'm out of it. I don't feel well. Just sleep all day. It'd be great. It's a grand day to sleep all day. Just grand. Friday. Just sleep all day. Sounds lazy. It's in no mood for coffee, so I didn't drink any coffee. I've had no caffeine. I gotta wean myself off the caffeine. It's not good for you. Drink all that caffeine. I'm not saying like become a Mormon. In moderation, have a cup of Joe every once in a while. Maybe a 12-ounce beverage, your favorite caffeinated pop soda. That rumbling was my stomach. But no, I slept like crap again last night. I'm not sleeping well. Whatever that is, it's whatever. So none of that matters. Let's talk Ohio State football. You know what? Yeah, Ohio State football. Buckeyes. They're going to Happy Valley. I think that's what the Nittany Lions call it. I don't know if that's the name of the field or the city. I think you have to take like Penn Station is the railroad hub that you get off at, or it's a sub shop. I don't know. The Penn State Nittany Lions are going to be the best opponent that the Ohio State Buckeyes have faced this year, hands down. I said one other time this year that Ohio State was going to play somebody tough. I wound up being way wrong. So Wisconsin was just coming off of a loss or something, and we just crushed them. I can't keep track of all this stuff. makes me almost sound kind of douchey, like, oh, Ohio State's just so good. Oh, why even worry about it? Maybe I'm looking up Ohio State. I mean, I watched stuff on it earlier. So I've got these stats for you that I'll tell you real quick and what you're in store for. So yeah, the Penn State Nittany Lions are 9-1. This is also the best QB that Ohio State has faced. I was just gonna call him McLaughlin, the redheaded stepchild guy. Because I don't remember. Maybe it was Wisconsin, and we beat them 38-7. Michigan State we beat 34-10. I mean, Wisconsin's the only ranked team. They were ranked 12th. Yeah, it couldn't have been Nebraska. We know who they are. Yeah, that must have been it. 42-0 trouncing of Cincinnati. People were upset that we didn't score more. Cincinnati isn't awful on top of it. Cincinnati is ranked. Well, were they just ranked 19th in week 2? Is that what that says? Is that what that means? No, it's the number 2s by Ohio State on each one of these. So Cincinnati's still ranked 19th in the nation. And Fickle, that the fella down there, that Fickle fella, good head coach. Coached here. The Nittany Lions will score 36.8 points a game. That's what they're averaging. They scored 368 points on this season. 10 games. That's how you do math. And then Ohio State's averaged 51.2. Not that this is going to wind up being some 51-37 football game, because that would be very, very high scoring. Ohio State's got one of the best defenses in the nation. Penn State's defense is nothing to sneeze at. We still see something like 35-28 Ohio State. I don't want to just give them the win, and this is going to be. I mean, you've got 2 rough weeks ahead of you. You got to beat Penn State, and you have to beat that team up north. That's the following week, and you're in the playoff. It's really that simple. Maybe you even get in with a loss. I don't know. I doubt it, just because they'd rather give Alabama the shot. Because on top of it too is you still have to play your conference championship, because we do that now. I didn't grow up with that, so I forget it sometimes. Your Ohio State Buckeyes. Let's see. Sometimes I write too small. 254 passing yards a game, 287 rushing yards a game. And that's where you're going to beat Penn State, because Penn State's just about even with you on passing yards per game. They have over 100 yards less in rushing yards per game. They run for about 173 yards a game. But just think of that and how high-powered that offense is for the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's over 500 yards a game on offense. That's just going up and down the field at will. That's not a normal thing. When you watch NFL game day, and I think that's another reason why people expected so much more out of this Browns team this year. People watch this college game so much. They get so invested in the college football game. They think it just automatically translates to the pros. It's different. But Ohio State's able to do what they can do because they are a well-constructed college football program. And they'll probably beat Penn State. And it hinges primarily on a guy who's going to have to actually play a full 4 quarters, most likely, Josh Fields. I'm a huge J.K. Dobbins fan, but, man, Josh Fields is thrown for over 2,000 yards this year. Just think if he played all 4 quarters of, even just half the games that he's played this year. The dude has 31 touchdown passes and has run for 10 more. You know how many interceptions he's thrown? You want to know? Same amount of viewers that I have. One. One measly viewer. Listener. Interception. Josh Fields. It's Josh, right? Josh. All right. Man, dude's good. He's thrown for over 2,000 passing yards. 31 touchdowns. Run for 10 touchdowns himself. I didn't jot down his rushing yards. And then the dude has only thrown one pick. One. In 10-ish games. Probably closer to like 5 or 6 because he only plays the first half of every game. And then you can rest. You throw in, I don't even remember the other guys' names. Can't pronounce the one kid. It's Polish or something. I offend Polish people. I actually did offend some Polish guy on Twitter. And he called me a racist. I had to point out that being Polish isn't a race. And then he said, that is exactly what an American would say. And I'm like, well, now it sounds like you're being a xenophobe. And he didn't know what that meant, because he's Polish. All I did was tell my really lame Norm Macdonald joke about going to get a sausage. And I'm like, hey, I want a bratwurst. Guy at the cash register says, I can't sell you a bratwurst. Well, how about Italian sausage? No, I can't sell you an Italian sausage, sir. Well, guy, how about you sell me a Polish sausage? No, I can't sell you a Polish sausage, but I can tell you are Polish. Why? I'm indignant. How dare you just say that I'm a moron? I screwed up the joke already. I can tell you you're some Polish moron. That's what the guy says. I say, hey, how dare you call me a Polish moron? Well, you are trying to order sausages here at this hardware shop, a hardware store. I'm totally out of it today. I usually tell that joke better. It's not my joke. That's why I wasn't really into it. Well, when we come back, we'll get into the Brown stuff because that's really all the other stuff that I have. And I don't know, I guess if I had watched video of the Kent State game or maybe read an article about it. And the bad thing is that that's the whole key to having Paul here and making him do traffic and weather. You know what a pain in the ass that was too, even? I had to write it for him because he wouldn't want to do it. And I'm better at the news thing. When he calls in, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. But as it stands right now here in the Warren Brothers Traffic and Weather Center, in traffic, I'm not going outside today, so I'm not going to have to deal with it. I don't care. You folks, you do whatever you want. Maybe I got to go buy smokes. I don't know. Some organic e-cigarettes. I'll wait till later to do it. Quite frankly, I'm in no mood to do anything today. I might take a nap for an hour. I slept like crap. I don't know why. This is the best time of year for sleep because this ties in with the weather. It's partly cloudy today. It's 39 degrees. That's the high. You literally just grab a blanket and you sleep. You just sleep half the day away. Who cares? I don't have a whole lot on my plate on this Friday. A couple of things that I got to do. Better suited for doing Tuesday. Doing Tuesday. Should work out even. My goal. Gives me something to look forward to doing. I don't want to do it though. Anyway, there's your Warren Brothers Traffic and Weather Center traffic and weather updates. Now over here at the Old Brooklyn News Desk, it'd be funny, just switch the camera real fast. Be like, Old Brooklyn News Desk. Okay. There's plenty of famous alumni who will be at that Ohio State-Penn State game tomorrow at noon. There's one person that won't be there when you're looking through the stands when they do that thing. It's like, oh, look at all the famous folks here. You know who you won't see there? Former Penn State associated person. The ghost of Joe Pa. That's right. The ghost of Joe Paterno has said in a statement that he will not be there at the Ohio State-Penn State game because he's too busy chasing down those fugitives, Bill Cosby and Jerry Sandusky. See, Paul, that's how you tell a news story. Well, because this music fits, since you're already on the YouTube here, head on over to Get Out and Play with Melody. That's right, because, she's an 8-year-old child who loves thrash metal. My niece, Melody Bacha, has an entertaining YouTube channel, Get Out and Play with Melody. If you yourself have kids, nephews, nieces, maybe you're just babysitting, or you like to be entertained yourself, you're here on YouTube, go to that search bar, type in Get Out and Play with Melody. Sit back and enjoy. Now, even though it is kid friendly, and I'm not just saying this because anyway, I'm not just saying this because she's my little 8-year-old niece, but she's a little freaking genius. It'll almost sadden you if you went to school before filming. She does a good damn job for writing, for storytelling. She's a poet laureate in her own right. So here on the YouTube, go to Get Out and Play with Melody. Like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff. Hit that notification bell so you know when she's got new content coming out. She's always filming, always editing. She's an ambitious little 8-year-old. Which is what you should be at 8 years old. Don't wind up being a slum. When you reach 35, you want to lay around all day. That's all I want to do. I'm not hearing myself anymore. But if I turn the phones off, all I hear is that music. Music seems too loud. That's another way you can tell you're getting all of that. That is only music that I hand selected. Even though it's too loud. I don't even listen to this garbage. Oh, I do. Huh? I listen to garbage, and I eat garbage, and I'm garbage. You are what you eat. I won't tell the vulgar joke there. But anyway. So, the Cleveland Browns, actual football. That's right. After yet another week of a whole bunch of non-football stuff, tons of non-football things, we finally have football. A game where they play on the field. They're like, you run and you catch and you jump and you throw and then all sorts of things. Not in that order, most likely. Right. You throw before you catch. And what you want to do is score more than the other team. You know, in all the Browns' losses this year, the other team scored more than the Browns did. And then in all the Browns' wins, the Browns have scored more than their opponents. So, you know, it's the formula for winning and losing. It's truly what it is. The 2-8 Miami Dolphins come into Cleveland. That's right. Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock. The Miami Dolphins sitting at 2-8. Now, they are winners of 2 of their last 3. One was a victory over the New York Football Jets. No one ever calls them that. People still call them the New York Football Giants because there used to be a New York Giants baseball team. No one ever called them the New York Football Jets. They used to be called something else, though. They were like the Super Jets. Like the Superchargers. I don't think that's an actual thing. Maybe that first year it was toyed around with. Like how we now have the Orlando Dreamers as a potential Major League Baseball club. The Dreamers. If you believe in magic, and I know you do, that's a basketball team, but have a dream. Imagine. That'll be the football team in Orlando, the Imaginers. You know what? They could have a hockey team, too, called the Orlando Wishers. You know what'll happen if he craps in the other hand? Which one will fill up faster? You keep your dreaming and your wishing and your imagining. Believe in magic. And I hope you do. You know what's bad? I mean, I eventually learned that it was a Lovin' Spoonful song. I just thought it was a McDonald's jingle growing up. So lame. They're a decent band, too. Dumb name. It sounds filthy. Lovin' Spoonfuls. Ew, I don't want a spoonful of lovin'. It's disgusting. Enough to fill a spoon? Here's where you manipulate the Dolphins, and it's what you've done all year. In fact, you did it just this past weekend. Although they've thrown me off some. If Chubb ran it 23 times and the Browns ran it 35 times total, I know Hunt didn't have 12 runs. That doesn't sound right. Baker ran a couple times. Yeah, he ran one in for the touchdown, the first touchdown there. So, we actually ran the ball more than we passed it. And we got big chunks of yardage when we passed the ball. Baker finished with less than 200 yards passing, but we won the damn game. And Chubb wasn't on fire. Chubb was good, but you didn't break 100 yards. You didn't have his typical one big Chubb run. Touch like how Jose Ramirez has the his home run pitch. Like Nick Chubb has to have some sort of touchdown run. It's touchdown run. Tell us what happened on that play. Touchdown run. Hey, what pitch did he throw you there? Home run pitch. It's just starting to kind of get fun, and so constantly being brought down because of the other crap, every single week. It was bad enough when our own media was doing it. Now the league itself is doing it. And it's a horrible thing to say after a guy just, assaulted a guy with his own helmet, which is partially what it is. But at the same time, when you read some of the comments, it's like, oh, Myles Garrett race card. It's like, no, you saying Myles Garrett pulling the race card is what makes you sound like a racist. There's maybe 3 or 4 times where it's not the race card. I mean, half the time maybe. I don't know. So we can point to certain things. There's certain things where okay, that looks like the race card. There's other times where it's like, this one is not. This one is not. Ryan Fitzpatrick is being named the starter for the Dolphins. You've seen a turnaround in their offense, but it's one of those things where I've discussed this point before. Like when you dig yourself such a deep hole early on, was Josh Rosen their quarterback? Was he actually starting games? There's been too much weirdness. Like Ryan Tannehill's the quarterback in Tennessee now, right? Not Marcus Mariota. And they have a chance to win another game, and they could be tied with Indy, and they're facing Jacksonville at home or something this weekend. So there's too much going on. That whole division. I'm not going to get into that whole conversation amongst itself. I think Dave and I could just have for months on end. It'll be an entire year-long discussion. What the hell's up with the AFC South? It's weird. It's just weird. It's just like whomever wants to not lose the division the least will wind up winning it. So yeah, Fitzmagic working his Fitzmagic in his last game. He was 32 of 45, 323 yards passing. He has 8 touchdowns and 8 picks thrown on the season. I've never understood why he's like a one and done guy. Like every team he's on. He's like the only dude in the league like this. Where the Jets get him for a year. Who was the other one? I'm screwing up my own thing here. He'll play somewhere for a year. What was the team that started? It's the Buccaneers. No, that was after. Or someone else before that even. He spends a year there, and he plays well. They don't win ball games. Certainly looks nice on a fantasy team. Just hoisting touchdowns up. Buccaneers started 2-0, and then Jameis Winston got off probation for stealing crab legs or something. And or punching an Uber driver, whatever it was he allegedly did. He did the crab legs thing. We know that for a fact. No, he sexually assaulted an Uber driver. That's right. That's why people don't drive cabs anymore. It's hot. No, so what the Browns, what they did, I talked about that split. 35 rushing plays and 32 passing against the Steelers. And this is another key component here, is that the Browns defense, this is going to be a true test of the other guys, if you will. Because they're playing guys like Chad Smith and Chad Thomas and Tom Chadwick. Well, I don't know the names. There's some kid we made a trade for like 2 weeks ago, picked up as a free agent a week or two ago. He's going to see playing time. I think as a linebacker, Axelford, something. I don't have intern Adrian here to help me out. I'll make her look stuff up. So the Browns, if there were a week in which it would be, I guess, as okay as it can be to have the injury issues that you're having, the fact that you're out, Ogunjobi's out, Myles Garrett is out, and were you going to take it to the Supreme Court? I mean, unfortunately, the NFL made their decision. I don't care. It's the wrong decision. That's not me just being a homer. Regardless, indefinite suspension. Demarius Randall's hit on that wide receiver was worse. And Ndamukong Suh could have murdered a guy. Gave him 30 stitches. 5 games. 5. Man. I don't understand it. That's not being a Browns fan. It's not, it's only because he's a Browns player. I don't know. I don't get it. You know what? Separate the Browns homerism and separate the race from it. What else could it be? Why? Make an example of him. To make an example of him. But why him? A guy that we know off the field is the example of the face of football that you want to have. Why? Why? Because of that incident. And I think we know why. People watch on Thursday nights and aren't watching all the rest of the year. This is because it was national. It's because you had kids who aren't normally watching that game, who I question their parents if they were here in this time zone and why those kids are still up. Oh, hell, any kids are up watching that play. You know what? That's what I want to know. Go ahead and find out how many kids watched that play. Because I want to tell you something. And it's really pretty simple. It's almost dumb. Is if there's a kid who's going to mimic that, he was already going to do something like that in the first place. I really went off board there. I'm really upset about this thing. It's beyond convenient that there's no audio. That's amazing. No audio. You can go and you can find audio from every single other game, even from other parts of that game. It's just amazing. Amazing. There's no audio. As it stands with this this Dolphins offensive line too, my goodness, their O-line is terrible. They have given up the most sacks in the NFL this season, 42, whereas the Browns have sacked the opposing team's quarterback 30 times. Now, 10 of those do belong to suspended defensive end Myles Garrett. He is a third of your team's sacks. It's why you drafted the kid. It's why he's on your team. But oh man, the Miami Dolphins and their offense, it's currently ranked 30th in the NFL, and they keep going on. It's all these stats are showing just how bad the Dolphins' offense is. So if there is a time, and I'm not going to say that the Dolphins are just going to roll over. I'm not going to say it's going to be some fluff thing. You better come out strong in that first half, Browns. Put up a two touchdown lead. I'm not saying coast, but just run the ball, get out of there. Don't hit anybody with your helmets. The Browns are playing harder this year. You saw it on display against the Steelers. I want to see more of that. Like, really? This was an adage that I didn't necessarily like because I felt it was a little foolish, but it's a decent analogy. The Cleveland Browns got picked on by the other teams in this division for as long as it's been the AFC North. I don't even remember at this point. But the Steelers and the Ravens, once every few years, the Bengals, at least for that little segment of time in the late 2000s, late double zeros, I should say, the late aughts. I mean, these other teams were beating up on the Browns for years. Vontaze Burfict going helmet first. That was mostly in the Steelers players, but the Ravens just constantly Ray Lewis murdering Browns on the field. Just
those raving Ravens.
They're always raving, and that's so Raven. That's dumb. She's not a good actress, and of course, we could detail every single Pittsburgh Steelers thing. Every single one of them. Kicking a puncher in the head, like right in his face. James Harrison alone has 4 or 5 things we could take to in front of just the I don't know, whatever ethics court we're in front of in this imaginary thing. The Steelers beat the crap out of us for 20 years. And now we need to apologize for giving it back? Really? No, we're not doing that. I'm not going to use the word proud. I'm not proud of some of the things that happened. But finally we fight back. And the guy who was the aggressor for 20 years is like, why are you playing so hard? They came out to be bullies. They're bullying us. My older brother, Paul, you know him. He's on the show. Sometimes. He calls it. And he's high-functioning autistic. And he's just about one of the best people I know. He's a little bit of a pain in the ass in storytelling sometimes, but when he's tight, it's good stuff. It's funny. He keeps doing it's always got to have like one weird character. It's just beyond reproach. And it's like, what's Hot Donna? Where does that come from? Anyway, so kids are stupid. Kids are dumb. You don't know outside of my genius of a niece, and her kid sister is pretty damn smart herself too. If she's not also a genius, she's as borderline as it comes. Brilliant, smart kids in their own ways. And me too, as I was a really smart kid. Most kids, most of you kids and your kids, even though if you're friends of mine and you got children, you're dumb. Kids are dumb because they're kids. There's a lot we don't even know, even my smart ass nieces. Plenty of stuff they don't know because they don't have experience in life. They don't know things. There's no way to know it because you don't. You just don't know. So kids pick on other kids. Kids bully other kids. It's what happens. And it's bad. It is bad. Some of those kids really are jerks. I mean, if your name's a mashup of Steven and Joshua because your parents are morons and they're, you're probably the product of inbreeding, sure. You're a little a-hole. That kid, whatever. You should probably also feel bad because he's probably dealing with a lot of real awful crap at home. His parents are too dumb to give him a real name. But at the end of the day, And I don't like the phrasing of it because it's called stomp out bullying, and it's done to basically say, hey, it's fine to bully back the bullies, and now you've just got everybody's bullies. Have conversations, discuss, find out why this kid is bullying you. They'll actually talk to you. Figure out what's wrong. Just talk to one another. It's really that simple. It is. Take time. I mean, unless he's like setting fire to squirrels or something, then it's beyond, repair. That's for the courts to figure out in juvenile hall. But if it's simple stuff like, oh, you've got big ears. Meh. Why do you do that? What's wrong with you? You want to talk about it? And if you don't want to talk about it, at least come up with something clever. All you've done is make fun of my big ears. Or, make fun of Paul. Paul's different. Did you not realize that you're different? Paul had this one particular shirt, and it stunk because, well, it stunk. It stunk. But, we went to, grade school where you had to wear uniforms. And we had a cat. It's a young cat. Doesn't know any better. Guess it got to his shirt. I think it was a shirt. Threw it on, not realizing it. I mean, we're stinky teenagers at this point. We don't smell ourselves. We don't always notice if a cat like a tiny little dribble or something. This one ass clown in his class, big fat, probably diabetes having mofo, and it just goes and says, "Hey, you smell like Cappy." Happen to be nearby. Like, hey, don't pick on my brother. I mean, you're fat and ugly. We've all got flaws and problems. I mean, it wasn't really nice of me to point out, fat, ugly kid. Just shut up. Also kind of helped that I was a lot bigger than him. So I was bullying a bully, more or less, but trying to have a conversation. Just talk it out. Figure it out. That's my real ham-handed attempt at anti-bully stuff. It's normally where I take a break. I'll take a quick break. I kind of rambled there, as I tend to do. I'm just a rambler, and I keep rambling. See now, and then this song has the same kind of feel as the song that I lead into this break with, but it always seems so much quieter. Now it seems too loud. I don't know. Am I loud enough? Can you hear me? I'm told this is a garbage disposal. Last traffic and weather reminder here at the Warren Brothers Traffic and Weather Center. Traffic-wise, outside of maybe having to buy some organic e-cigarettes, I don't plan on going anywhere today. I might walk to do that. I'm going to get trapped in traffic with all you psychopaths out there. And then weather-wise, it's partly cloudy and 39 degrees. And that's the high. That's as warm as it's going to get. It's all downhill from here. Snuggle up with a blanket or a friend. Maybe even someone you don't like. Stay warm however it is you can. In the news, here at the Old Brooklyn News Desk, you couldn't tell, it looks a lot like the Warren Brothers Traffic and Weather Center. Same place. Here in the news, there will be plenty of famous former Penn State alumni and staff and all sorts of other folks at the Ohio State-Penn State game tomorrow at noon. But there's one person you won't see there who is associated with Penn State. That's right. The ghost of Joe Paterno. He has already said in a press conference earlier today that he's too busy to attend the Ohio State-Penn State game. He will be out running after those criminals, Bill Cosby and Jerry Sandusky. I don't have a last live read for you because, I just have the three. So if you want me to advertise here, let me know. Jay Rodriguez, you out there? Jay, buy some houses, get them from Jay, something like that. If you still want to do that, just run into you at a post office or... It's been the post office twice, hasn't it? Well, anyway. Speedway. Oh, I said Speedway. Darn it. Gas station. In the post office, it's not like I'm selling stamps. Apparently, you can just print those offline. Online? Anyway, gotta play my favorite song. I call each song my favorite song, don't I? Ah, someone texted me. I bet you it's Paul. Yeah, it is Paul. Oh, it's his last day. Well, we'll keep the bit going. Whatever happens, happens. So lame. No, I didn't want to make that larger. As much as I like looking at myself, works better when it's split screen. Anyway, so I'm trying to think. Keys to victory. Sorry for constantly coughing into the microphone. Keys to victory for the Cleveland Browns over the Miami Dolphins. I felt like there's one more Major League Baseball free agent I wanted to talk about. Somebody just signed. Oh, it's because I didn't read the article. I mean, it was part of the reason why I did the Myles Garrett thing when I did, was so I'd have the phone available to look at stuff and not just like listen to viewers who don't call in anyway. And I already checked Browns Dolphins stuff enough. Maybe I'll bring it up again. But free agent baseball signing. Someone literally just signed. A Yankees pitcher signed with the Mets. Wait, now is this saying that these guys? See, I like going to Spotrac, whatever it is. Because Adam Wainwright signed a 1-year deal, $5 million with the Cardinals, so he got a raise. Fella right there. I don't know if this is updated. Oh, this all just says starting pitchers. So, I mean, it is that time of year already. I know it's only November, but it has started. It is technically time for. Are you really going to do it that way? No, all positions. There we go. Thank you. And I'm not going to call it unfortunate, but it is the off-season stuff. It's the stuff that I enjoy doing in the video game, but in real life, it's like 3 months of this, and I got to hear about how everyone's going to complain about how the Indians didn't do enough, because they probably won't, and I'll just be complaining because Manny Grandal signs this 4-year, $73 million deal with the Chicago White Sox. So he's going to make $17.25 million a year. $18.25 million a year. The Will Smith 3-year, $40 million San Francisco deal for a relief pitcher. The other relief pitcher, no, that can't be the guy. It says he signed with Atlanta. Darren O'Day, a 1-year, $2.75 million. $2,750,000 deal. I don't think that's the Yankees guy. That can't be right. Signing was supposed to be a big deal. Well, all right. It's starting to kind of peter out here. Because O'Day was the Orioles. I'm confused because that's not. He wasn't dealt to the Yankees, right? Like I had seen something, and now I don't know if I saw what I saw. And I realize this is not riveting. I get that. But since no one watches, I almost don't care anymore. I'm being told that my connection's unstable while they're reconnecting me anyway. Let's see here. I guess the only reason why I get as agitated as I do with Brown stuff is it's not rocket science. You see how when things are simplified, how well they work. Mad because you should have beat the Broncos, but you couldn't even do the simple stuff. Didn't we run the ball well that day too? I think so. Couldn't have just had a handful of simple pass plays. This is all you need from Baker. I mean, it is. Has he surpassed? I forget. I'm so thrown off with the weird way that is. Does he have more touchdown passes now? Is it 13 to 12? TDs to picks. Finally done that. 6 weeks left to go in the season. Hasn't thrown a pick in 3 or 4 weeks. It's gonna happen. The bad thing is that it might be like a 3-pick day. He's got one of those in him. Might even just peter out and throw like 2 picks the rest of the season or something. Maybe 3. Most likely won't be against the Dolphins. I mean, they're secondary. The problems that we're having on the front line, and hopefully those guys are ready to play because they're facing like the worst offensive line in the Dolphins. One of the worst in the league. Just you can't give Fitzpatrick time. And he's slightly mobile for a guy who's like 37, however old Fitzpatrick is. Yeah, just as the Browns defense, the same holds true for the Dolphins D, is that they have the adverse problem. Ours is going to be in the front 6. This is what we do for linemen and 2 linebackers, and we're going to have to focus on the run. Well, I couldn't even tell you who their running back is right now. I don't think they know after they traded away Drake. So, I just want to remind everybody, too, that this is WBBN, the Warren Brothers Broadcasting Network. The views and opinions of this program don't express those of ownership. Ownership is vehemently against cronyism and nepotism. You can just ask my friends and my family members, who many of whom are either on this program or chip in or that I'm directly involved in with helping, and they help me. Vehemently against cronyism and nepotism. You can just ask Associate Producer Dad or my co-host, my brother, Paul Warren.
So did you give your prediction on the Browns-Dolphins game?
I did a preview. I didn't come up with a final score yet. Do you have something?
Not really.
Okay.
You're the expert. That's why I'm asking.
Well, I don't know if I'm an expert.
I am.
I say that the Cleveland Browns win this game 28-20. The Dolphins will have just enough offense to look good, and they'll be able to manipulate the problems that the Browns will have on D.
Yeah.
But I don't see Miami being victorious in this. And the Browns offense, it's okay, so here's the big deal. We finally have every single healthy and off of suspension and all of that stuff. Our offense is completely together. So like for all that funny stuff, those jokes that we would make about like now that we've signed Odell Beckham Jr., we'll go to the Super Bowl. Well, there's a key component, a little caveat to that whole thing, is having every single one of those guys available on the same game day. So David Njoku is healthy and should be back in tight end. Even though all the guys who filled in for him did a fine job. The one kid was the one who caught the touchdown pass to make it 21-7. Carlson. And we've got Odell. He's healthy. He has been all year. Same with Jarvis Landry. So there's 2 of your wide receivers. We got old Nick Chubb and K Hunt manning up your backfield. Those 5 guys will be out there probably every single play. damn near it. You can get Seals Jones Drew Jones Seals Drew, kiss on the nose, orange or some gray. That's Seal. Then you get other guys, Hollywood Higgins. Be nice to see him, and Ratley and Hodge. Very good young wide receivers on this team. And guys who aren't household names like Old BJ and Laundry and Hunt, K. Hunt. That one's pretty bad there, my bad. So I want to remind everyone that the show is brought to you by Organic E-Cigarettes. Llama brand Organic E-Cigarettes. If you're tired of your lungs exploding from your e-cigarettes, switch on over to Llama brand Organic E-Cigarettes. They got a fun little cartoon llama on it. Kids like them too. So dumb. These bits are really only to entertain myself. I was ripping off some really good jokes recently. Met up with a friend of mine. We were working on stand-up comedy stuff together, writing jokes, selling them a bunch of mine. So if you stole them, screw you, Matt. Anyway, I'm kidding. Sort of. If you stole my jokes, no. That's sure. There's no original jokes anymore. They're campy. But there's a lot of conversations about stand-up comedy. I was talking with my friend Mel yesterday. She was talking about stand-up comedy. We were just talking about that too. And some of the best though died. You can't completely read them. The First Amendment's like the biggest key component to it. But at the same time, we know Carlos Mencia stole. But what about Amy Schumer? And apparently this was such a big thing. Is I didn't realize Patrice O'Neal died in 2011. I forgot he had died even. Because there were these tapes coming up about him defending Amy Schumer and her stealing. And apparently that goes to almost 10 years ago then. A thief then. She hasn't been famous that long, right? Maybe she has. That's terrible. Because you only need one comic like that. And crap, we got 4. Sarah Silverman wasn't even the first one. Just have Joan Crawford. Screwed that up. Joan Rivers. She's doing that in the 60s. Talk about stealing bits. Stole whole personas. I mean, at least Sarah Silverman did her own little twist on it. It was all right. Slept her way to the middle. But Lampanelli does it slightly differently too. So I'm all right with her. She does crowd work. She's actually really good at it. Then after that, you didn't need one woman's last name, Kulaningas even. No, Cummings, right. Just a generic Sarah Silverman. And then the last one, Amy Schumer. Just stop. Just all be done. If you got funny jokes, you got good material, tell it. But if it's obviously other people's stuff, it just became more and more evident. I mean, it's a simple equation. You find out the facts. You get to the truth. Her own sister is her head writer for everything. Sure, Amy Schumer doesn't even bother to write half of her own stuff or material that she's stolen from other people or anything else. Her sister is the one who writes the material. Her sister did prison time. Pretty sure she's a kleptomaniac. Literally. She dragged Amy Schumer along the one time. They stole a bunch of stuff from a department store. They did it a bunch of different times, I think. And the sister eventually got caught. And Schumer did it just a couple of times or something. Sister was a felon, I think. Stuff I've heard. It's well documented. It's out there. Listen to some interviews. Comics talk about it, laugh about it. Because, it shouldn't make sense. Put the pieces together, you make a puzzle. Terry Bradshaw can make puzzles. And that guy's an idiot. I've grown a newfound respect for Terry Bradshaw, though. Sunday he defended Myles Garrett, and rightfully so. And I think, we all knew that Randolph had to have said something. And there's more than enough words out there that it could have been whatever it was. I mean, Mason Rudolph looks like the kind of dude who says racial slurs. That's not just a condemnation of a man. But Myles Garrett doesn't look like the kind of guy who lies. I mean, Mason Rudolph's haircut says, I believe in white supremacy. I'm a fan of the Third Reich. He's got a Hitler haircut. Looks like one of the Aryan Nation youth. See, I'm judging now, though. I'm giving a condemnation of a kid just because I don't like the Steelers. Basically, I guess that's all it comes down to. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger looks like the kind of big creepy dude who would, do the things he was alleged of doing around bathrooms and bars, either in Miamisburg, Ohio, whatever podunk town, Findlay. Tiny little hamlet no one knows of. He's doing that stuff back in high school. I mean, everybody does that. I have a friend who told me this story. I mean, that's true of Ben Roethlisberger. I do have a friend who told me the story. That was what was always going around that little high school in Findlay. He was a senior. She was a freshman. People talk. I mean, it's high school. Unfortunately, that's also the same thing as journalistic integrity at this point now in real life. And so Mason Rudolph's going through the same stuff. And like I said, he should be going through it. I don't believe in saying people are lesser human beings or some of the other things that people will say. But man, that dude is a jerk. He is a jerk. And can't we just keep it at that? Leave it at that? Sometimes people are jerks. It happens. Mason Rudolph's one of them. I think my problem with it is that there's no way that you could review everything that's there to be reviewed in the 45 minutes or so from the time where it was Myles Garrett said, I've heard a racial slur, guys. And then it being like, oh, no, we reviewed everything. There's no way. Well, no, we didn't find evidence of it. See, already it gets twisted. Now it's spun and it's that. Well, it didn't happen. Oh, I really don't think you look that hard, NFL. A little disappointed in Thrash, former wide receiver in the league. Maybe that's why he held that up. Then, Pouncey wound up getting his reduced to 2 games. The force from him stomping on Myles Garrett's head is more force than Myles Garrett had with an overhead swing. I mean, it's the problem is there was the initial narrative. It's that a helmet can kill you if you're not wearing a helmet of your own and you get hit on the head with it. And we just got to stick with that the whole way because that's the first thing we said. And we can't rescind that. So it's how it is. Let's not use logic. Let's not decipher anything. Let's not, talk about it. Just start with that and leave it there. It'd be like in my bully analogy. You're a bully? Well, screw you. You're not a useful part of society. We will shun you. We'll stomp out bullying. We'll curb stomp bullying. We'll take bullying and we'll stab it and shoot it and murder it. Murder bullying, you bullies. Yeah, bullying's bad. Most of the time, the ones who are bullying are bullied themselves and have their other issues. And I don't know. Just saying. So, and again, I'm not defending bullies either. But we do a wonderful job in this society of acting like we know everything and we don't know anything. That's certainly a bit superlative. It's a little overreaching. We act like we know everything and we know very little. The worst part of it is we know some actual parts of things that are helpful and good to know. But how much do we actually know? I don't know. And that's my answer. I don't know. I know some stuff. I know a lot about some stuff. And it was funny. Dad just told me I was the expert when it came to football. Well, that's not true. I'm going to be way wrong on this Browns-Dolphins game. I just have a feeling it's going to be closer than a lot of what I've seen where it's 2-score victories for the Browns. But who knows? Maybe it winds up being some type of 3-touchdown win. The Browns put up 42 on them. The offense all comes together, and they score touchdowns on 6 drives. Or 4 or 5, and they get a defensive score or 2. I mean, people have claimed that it's right around the corner. It's about to happen for this Browns team. Here it is. So we'll see if that's what it is. I don't know. Supposed to cover 15 more minutes. And I said I did my last break already, but that was a lie. And this is usually where I play this song. And then I play another song. Yeah, it's definitely my favorite song. I like it though. 3 songs too. It's great. Just want to remind everyone that I don't care about the traffic, and the weather is 39 degrees, and that's as high as it's going to get. In the news, there's plenty of famous alumni who will be at the Ohio State-Penn State football game tomorrow at noon. However, don't expect to see one very key figure. That's right, the ghost of Joe Paterno says he will be out haunting Jerry Sandusky and Bill Cosby. So he has no time to go to the game. Make sure that while you are here on the YouTube and you're watching this nonsense, you hit the like button and share and the notifications. Is that where that is? Or no, I don't know. I don't know where it's at. Notifications. So whatever you do, you click on them, and so you like, subscribe, share, and get notifications. So do that stuff. It'll be great for me. Great for you too, because then you'll be notified. And that's all I got regarding that. The last segment of the show, just wrap it up in the next 10, 15 minutes. That's right, I actually started slightly early today, too. How about that? Man, what was the Kent State thing? I was going on about it earlier. I wanted to see. There's an article from yesterday's game. This is all just that stuff. What article? All they're talking about is Penn State, Ohio State football. On a Kent State basketball story. Give me something. No, back to his debut versus Concord. That's a video. I don't need videos. I want an actual real article. It's something that I, should have done before the show started. But, well, it's too late now. Anyway, it's a cool thing. Kid at Kent State has autism. Played 9 minutes in their victory over Concord. Had a rebound, put in a bucket, scored 2 points. So it's cool stuff. Kid's a 6'10", 6'11" forward. Kalen Bennett. Big, strong dude. 18 years old. You can imagine being 18, being damn near 7 foot tall. He could still grow. Wouldn't that be weird? Winds up being like a 7'3", and especially if he's athletic. I don't know. They're still looking for that in the NBA at all. They don't want 7-footers anymore. It'd almost be better if you didn't grow anymore. Or stop eating too much. All that stuff that guys do. They're working out. How do you stop growing, though? You have no choice. that matter. Let's see. We're all figuring out what we got out in the end here. That was one of them. Your Columbus Blue Jackets have won 3 straight. They defeated the Red Wings of Detroit last night, 5-4. Close game, and won in regulation though. Cleveland Cavaliers just stink. They're bad, but they are playing tonight. 8:30 tip off. That's because it's in Dallas. I mean, it is time. There's different time zones. Not going to explain time zones to you. You need to know about time zones. As watch like episode 105 of the Epic Radio Show. We talk about that for like 45 minutes. We got an Epic all mad because the show ran long. You had to spend 45 minutes talking about time zones. Like, you kept asking questions too. We're all asking each other. It was funny because I had just done a bit on that for the other station I had worked at, All Sports. Did a whole thing, did all this research. Yeah, it's George W. Bush's fault. Actually, I shouldn't even say fault, because he kind of made it better by signing into law the thing that we're currently doing. Because if you're over 20 years old, you will probably remember as a child that it was different, or even as an adult if you are over 35 years old, because it goes to the 90s. Think about the 90s. And it wasn't until 2005 when W was president, and they changed it to like the first week in March and the first Sunday in November that the clocks change, that you spring forward and you fall back. It was always 6 months and 6 months. It was some arbitrary day in April and some day in October, which, like second or third Sunday of each month. And so instead of being that rigid 6 months and 6 months, it now it's why you have sunsets at 4 something, just because of the tilt of the axis of the Earth and other, actual real science things, not people just answering you with science. And also not people just denying the existence of science altogether. The in-between, where it's actual real science. And it's why some years you have colder Decembers than you do other years, because of the tilt of the axis of the Earth and where on its rotation it is. And it's why every 4 years we have 366 days, because of a quarter of a day. And if we weren't superstitious, we would just have 13 months, and each month would have 28 days, and it would be real simple. It would just be math. But because people couldn't decide on whether to start the week on Sunday or Monday, and because Friday the 13th would happen 13 times a year, and 13, 13, 13, 13's a terrible number, because there'd be 13 months. Instead, they screwed it up, and October is the 10th month, even though wait, is that right? Oct is 8? Yeah, exactly. Octagons. So dumb. So apparently I'm mad at calendars, too. Just so dumb. I say we just go to a 13-month calendar. Just start it next January. You have January, February, March. That's a Simpsons joke. You'd have to figure it, because Deca is 10. I would need that. I'm so OCD. I'm OCD about things that don't matter. You have to turn October into the 10th month, so you tack on, a new month after December, and you'd start the year with March. I think April. What's Jan? Janus? Like God or something? They're named after gods on top of it. And it's loosely based on a Jewish calendar, or it's not at all. Is there in year 5,000 something, 5,200? I don't want to say it wrong. I don't really have very many Jewish friends. I'm try to put a poll up on Twitter and ask what year is it, because everybody keeps saying 2019. Hey, remember when everybody was saying 1919? No, they were saying 1919. So that makes this 2019. It's just how you say it. If people are saying 2020, then I'll be really mad. It's 2020. It's right there. It's easy. It's simple. It's how your eyes were until, you needed glasses. It's vision. What did that have to do with hockey? Basketball, right, because we're playing the Mavericks tonight. That's right. And time. Well, I really went off on a tangent with that one. This is logical as stuff Paul says. But more interesting to me is Saturday night's basketball game at home, where the Portland Trail Blazers come into town, and they look bad. They had a pretty good season last year. I think Damian Lillard's still there. Is he out with an injury maybe or something? I forget. This is another thing, another problem I have. Everybody calls him Dame. Dame. And that works like it's a shortening of a name instead of calling him Damian, which is kind of a cool name in a sense, even though I think it's also like the spawn of Satan in that movie. That's why people didn't name their child Damien for a good 40 years. But so Damian Lillard, cool sounding name. Yeah, that's cool. And you even call him Dame for short. Jim short for Jimmy. Jim short for James. Tim short for Timothy. Tim short for Timmy. Whatever. I don't know. I don't give a crap. But listen, Dame could be short for Damien. But then it's spelled out. And it's D-A-M-E. So all these people are calling him Dame Lillard. And I'm thinking this is like some Duchess or some nonsense in England. Like, what does this have to do with basketball? Oh, that's right, because everybody's too lazy to just call him Damien. To put two more syllables on there and say, 3 more letters. Can't even type it out. Can't type out Damien. I mean, calling him Dame is one thing, but to see it typed out all the time. A lady is a dame, and Dame Lillard is not a lady. He's not a whore either. He's just a guy. At least he identifies as such, to my knowledge. So he's not a woman. He's a man who plays basketball on a man's basketball team. Don't call him Dame. He's not some English hierarchy, whatever it is that a dame is. What else did I get out of this show? Ohio State will beat Penn State tomorrow. That's not just being cocky. That's nothing along those lines. It's just what's going to happen. Penn State will give them a good game. Might even be within one touchdown. Could be something like 33-28. Both teams are well matched. But this Ohio State team, they're a team of destiny. Last 2 times we've had this kind of turnover. Tressel for Cooper. Meyer for the weird year where whatever happened. As Tressel was out, Fickle ran it for a little bit. Wasn't it Urban Meyer's first year we won the national championship under the new playoff system? I think it was the first year of that too. Maybe the second year. Same holds true with the Cooper transitioning to Tressel thing and Maurice Claret and all that stuff. National champions 2002. 2002? Who would even say 2002? In 02. 2002. 2002. Anyway, it was in January, which is the first month of the year. So, point being, was it 04? 07? So, your Ohio State Buckeyes, anytime there's this big coaching change thing, now that Myers retired and then, they stuck Day in there. And team of destiny. It seems like there's a pattern here. They'll at least make the playoff. And if they're not in the national championship game, I'll be surprised. This Ohio State team is really good. Not like Oregon's all that great. Alabama's having an off year for them. I think they've actually lost a game, maybe two. Fire Saban. I think Oklahoma's the team that looks good. Jalen Hurts out there. And they almost got dogged this last weekend. They were losing bad. Was it Auburn? No. Can't keep track of all these teams. I mean, if I was in the South, I probably know it better. Up here, I got to worry about like Ohio State in the Big Ten. So, and lastly, my last two, at least for right now, final thoughts regarding the Browns. One is, the reporters out there. There are some. It seems like they're more at the national level. There's probably some local guys. John Doss, I'm looking at you, local guy. Seems to have his head in the right place, his heart too, even at the national level. Max Kellerman, guy in between, Jay Crawford. Do the work. Get the job done. Find out what the hell is going on with this NFL versus Myles Garrett thing. Why it's so important that they make him pay so big. Why he's, a criminal numero uno, America's top most wanted criminal number one, whatever it's called. He's Bonnie and Clyde. Sure. It's unfair to vilify a person that much. Even if what they did was wrong. You've gotten, you've treated, you want to bury him under the prison. Same thing they're doing with the president of the United States right now. Same thing that you're seeing all over the world. Now is the guy who's a prime minister of Israel. He's getting brought up on some charges. What did he do? Anyway, it's a sad state of affairs that we live in, where like Adam Schiff and Roger Goodell are the same person, and they're pieces of garbage. And they got all these other people around them who are too afraid to say anything because they're afraid they'll lose their meaningless little job. You're that concerned? I mean, your crappy job is more important than your career and your profession and your standards. What you took an oath to do. So journalists, stand up, quit pussyfooting around, not wanting to find real facts. Stick your neck out there. Get the job done. Do it. I'm going to try my best. Some way we can get press passes. Figure that out. I'll go right in there with a microphone and a camera. So, Browns win. I got them beating the Dolphins. Should be a good weekend for Cleveland sports. Cavs will probably split. Monday will be rough. That's Kent State going into Ohio State. Nice thing is an Ohio team will win regardless. But my rooted interests are with Kent State on that game. And I guess that's it. Just wrap that up from there. Go Browns. Go Indians. That's the only thing we didn't really get to talk about because there isn't anything to talk about. We have the next 2 months of just can't really call it meandering, but waiting. It's the old waiting game because that's all you really can do right now. You have no other choice in the matter. The only thing you can do as Cleveland Indians fans is wait and see if there are any free agents that we are going after. Be sure to hear plenty of rumors and then, get all really mad when we don't sign anybody because that's what you're going to do. I'm tired of you all doing that. So just do that now. You're already doing it on the Twitter, so it's whatever. Being all upset about not going after guys. What's the thing we need the most? One thing. Let's say you could have one thing. An outfielder, a reliever, or a definitive answer at either third or second, so Jose Ramirez can play the other. I guess you pick between those three things. If we get one of those three things, I'll be fine. Because quite frankly, you have outfield depth. Just none of them are like a superstar kind of guy. And the same's kind of true with relief pitcher. You have the depth. You just don't have a really good relief pitcher. But do you want to spend $10 million a year on a relief pitcher? Something's wrong with you. Well, for each one of you, with all your problems, me with mine too. But for all you listeners, I appreciate your listening very much, and you're watching if you watched. So you're watching and you're listening. I appreciate each and every one of you, even though I do crap on you all the time because you're a bunch of jerks and ass. So for you, thank you. For Paul Warren, who called in, and whoever knows what he was blathering on about. Hopefully he'll be back from Milwaukee soon. And of course, for executive producer Dad, I have been Mark Warren. And until next time, this time has been the most recent. Good day. I clicked on the button.